Hello and thank you for joining me in this slightly more intense rider Pilates ab session. If you have a big moving horse, if you are working up through the levels in dressage or you are jumping some bigger fences these days, then these are exactly the kind of exercises that you need to be doing on a regular basis to help give you that nice connection, that stable connection between your upper body, your contact and your lower body and your seat. So I hope you are warmed up and ready to go, but let's just make sure everything is moving freely before you start. So I'd like you sitting, think about equal weight through your seat bones, and then just making sure that you can loosely move through your upper body so you're not holding any tension. So although we're going to be working on some quite serious strengthening work in this session, you don't want to be holding any tension with that. There's a difference between strength and tension that's going to block the movement. We're looking for strength that's going to facilitate your ability to move with your horse, not block that movement. Okay, then bring your arms up and out into a V shape and gently arch your shoulders backwards. You won't be able to go particularly far, and then come back up again. And we're more just trying to get everything gently moving. We're not trying to create lots of big movement. And then back up again. And we're going to do one more this way. So gently arch backwards. Bring your hands up, bring them back down, and we're going to go onto your back. And we're going to start off nice and simple with your abdo prep, just to ease your tummy muscles into the movements. So feet and knees approximately hip width apart. Think about those imaginary ropes that connect your ribs down to your pelvis. Just make sure they're awake. Pelvic floor is onto floor 3. Float your hands, reach for your toes, and then lift your head so that you look between your legs. Take everything back down together then. It's pelvic floor, float your hands, reach for your toes, and look between your legs. So everything is moving one after the other on the way up, but together on the way back down. So keeping it nice and smooth all the way through. Knees staying about hip width apart all the way through. The pelvic floor quietly working away in the background on level 3. And remembering to breathe. Okay, we're going to move on to doing your hundreds in the tabletop position. So one at a time, bring your legs up. Think pelvic floor once again. Think ribs to pelvis, so we're not having this position. Everything is stable through here. Then, making sure you're still breathing, patting those imaginary puddles of water, moving from your shoulders. And then if you've got the space, see if you can then pat out to the side and then gently pat your way back in. Make sure that you are moving from the shoulders, not just from your wrists or fingers, particularly as you go on with the reps. It's very easy, the more reps you do, to start to make the movement smaller and smaller and smaller. So keep checking in with yourself. Check in, is the pelvic floor still working? Are you still breathing? Are your ribs still sinking, or have they gone upwards? So it's a simple exercise from a mechanical point of view, but it's quite complicated when you add in all the other quality control elements. Let's do one more set of pats up and out. And then down and in. Okay, bring your legs down one at a time for a little bit of a breather. We're going to move on to a mini version of the crisscross exercise. I will demonstrate, then you want to join in. So bring yourselves up into that tabletop position, ribs to pelvis, pelvic floor onto floor 3. And then you're going to lift so that your outside arm goes to the outside of your calf, inside hand comes to the inside of the knee. Come back down, and the same thing the other way. So you are rocking from side to side. Just a brief moment on your back before you come up to the other side. Try to keep your legs fairly still. Don't forget to breathe. If you've let go with your pelvic floor, don't worry. Last one. Fabulous job. Feet down one at a time, and we're going to go onto your side. And we're going to go straight in with your side bend at the level 3. So that's kind of the hardest version. Any shoulder problems, of course, you can just do the arm and leg bit lying flat. So capital L position, top arm onto your top side, float your top leg, pelvic floor onto floor 3 as you lift and lower, and then add in that nice straightening with your top leg. So you're synchronizing, lifting the pelvis as your arm and leg are on the move. You're really having to use your oblique tummy muscles. In fact, you've just been working those really hard in the crisscross exercise, and now they're having to work really hard to lift you. I mean, all your abdominals are working, but Those oblique abdominals working really hard, as are your glutes as well, obviously, and all the muscles around your shoulders. But your obliques just worked really, really hard in the previous exercise, and now we're making them work really hard in a different way. Still look for that synchronization. Don't give up on the synchronization. Last one, this way. Okay, we're going to spin straight round and do the same thing on the other side. So again, into your capital L position, on the floor if you need to, just doing the arms and legs, top hand onto your top side, pelvic floor onto floor 3, floating that leg into that lift and lower, and then adding in, so that as you do the lift, you straighten the top leg. So really looking for that synchronization, that control as you come back down. Keep that breathing. See if we can do a couple more. Last one. Fabulous. Okie doke, we're going onto your hands and knees. And I would like you with your hands a little in front of your shoulders, knees underneath your hips and your toes tucked underneath your feet. And we're going to do some variations of the leg pull exercise. So before you start, pelvic floor onto floor 3 if you possibly can. Lift your knees and slowly back down. We're going to do one more like that just to prime your body. Okay, then we're going to lift and go forwards. When you go forward, you want that straight line so you're not sinking down. Haven't got your bottom in the air. That straight line into that plank position. Come back over and down. The next one you do, I'd like you to stay in that position and see if you can do some alternate shoulder taps. So you're holding that position, straight line-ish, down from your shoulders, through your pelvis, knees to your heels. Okay, then bring yourselves back over and have a little rest. We're going to go back into that position one more time. So lift and forwards, and this time you're going to do some leg lifts. So again, you're maintaining that straight line, shoulders, pelvis, knee and heel on the leg that is on the floor, and controlling that lift, controlling the lower. Okie doke, and then come back over your knees, bring your hands back up, and then we're going to come up into full kneeling, and we're going to do your reverse Nordics. It's a complicated name for basically leaning backwards. Again, as you do this, try and keep a straight line through your shoulders, pelvis and knees. So you're going to be gently leaning back. If you want to make it a bit more riding specific, have your hands up in front and see if you can carry your hands. I'm going to go sideways because it's important as you do this that you do maintain that straight line and you're not just arching backwards. That's a completely different movement. It's not particularly helpful and it just locks you through your back and will make your back quite sore if you do too many of these. This version, however, is really, really good for control through your tummy muscles, through your hip flexor muscles. Great if you do a lot of jumping, particularly if you go cross country and you've got drop fences. But I think it's also really good for all of us, even if we're just doing, doing dressage, particularly at the higher levels. You really want that finer control right down through your tummy muscles and through your hips. Let's do one more. You can overdo these quite easily. Okay, then kneel back down again. If you can get your bottom onto your heels, do so. If it won't quite meet them, just do the best that you can. Take your hands out in front. Let your head sink to the floor. And do a couple of nice deep breaths. And then slowly walk your hands back up towards your knees. And we are going to finish there. So you may well feel that you need to go and do another slightly calmer session. I'll try and link this one in to something a little bit calmer for you to do after this. But otherwise just go and have a quiet walk around. That was really quite intense. Hopefully not too long, you're not too tired, but it is the kind of work you need to be doing to really be working at those higher levels, or if you've got a bigger moving horse, really to help you absorb all that movement that your poor body is trying to deal with. Anyway, hope you found it useful, hope you've enjoyed it. Look after yourselves. If you haven't already subscribed, please do so. You should see the link button on the bottom of the screen any moment now, and I will see you very soon.